What's up? What's up? Been a minute. Um, been traveling and not trading as much. Our account has been sitting down a bit. We're at 500 bucks from the high of 4,000 that we've hit on these levels. We're on level 8 of 30, and we're trying to get something going here, but it's just been a bad few weeks of trading. We missed out on this big liquidation flush last Friday on Bitcoin. Let's actually look at a clean chart and look at some recent things that happened in Bitcoin. So I was traveling up north for a funeral on last Friday, and this big daily liquidation cascade happened. Unaffected, which is cool, but there were some 300% bounces right here that once we took this liquidity here, I would have tried some longs for sure and some alts, especially with that big dominant spike, but it is what it is. We got a 50% bounce, and we had like a 12-hour EQ on Bitcoin. Yeah, we were looking for a 12-hour EQ, kind of turned it into a head and shoulders on the 4-hour. Broke bear after a bear flag yesterday, and now we're in a 4-hour downtrend, 4-hour oversold today. So this right now locally, this wick high at 107 is really key, and we're running into that resistance currently. So if I go into lower time frame, we are on a 15-minute uptrend, and I have this kind of broadening wedge formation drawn out here, but need to see really a reclaim of this 107 for anything juicy to happen. Tried some trades and just been getting chopped around and haven't been able to get anything really substantial going. But macro-wise, dominance. Yeah, here's the big liquidation deal. So we're still in daily uptrend, even though that was a huge spike there. So we are looking for a weekly higher low or lower high somewhere in here. But everything's been kind of weak. We're at kind of a crossroads for a lot of things. Here's total, which is getting a retest of this trend line going back now since 2017. So could just want to just grind along this line and get a nice big expansion move up, or else it's going to get way more confusing, I feel like. If we head down here, I'm just going to wait for a reclaim before I do much. But things are definitely at support. I mean, we're at weekly support now, and ETH dominance after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks down, holding EMA 12, whatever this purple line is here. You'd want to see that hold for a continuation, so maybe some strength goes back into ETH. Same with, I mean, we're at spots where if it holds, that is going to happen. Total 2, similar deal. Maybe the weekly shows us more in there. But yeah, we did have a high SFP here on total 2, but didn't see any follow. The USDT dominance in this range, I have it on the 12-hour just because it's clean with the uptrend. So at a point we're rejecting, into Friday. Stock market's been kind of weak all week. Gold finally topped out. There's potential here, but we need to see a few things happen. We need to see Bitcoin back over here and not roll over to the low day again for anything to substantiate. On higher time frame, Bitcoin gold ratio, we're just looking how similar this 2021 top is and this 2024 top is. Kind of cool. Testing this longer term support with this big old RSI div for almost 10 years. So I think we're at a point with Bitcoin where things are going to either shift substantially, and then we're at a new paradigm and things are not the same, and it's like pros only. You can't just rely on this 4-year cycle anymore, which it's going to break eventually. There's no way the 4-year cycle can continue forever. So still a newer asset, especially when I'm like charting gold, looking at gold and researching gold. You really have to keep it in perspective how new of an asset Bitcoin is in general. So I am open to all scenarios here, but in terms of our challenge, we're just been getting kind of crushed. Sold ETH. I mean, some people that were trading leverage wise on this big liquidation day lost millions and millions of dollars. So not me, fortunately, because I don't have millions of dollars to lose, but probably would have got more wrecked if, a few years back when I had more assets in crypto here because I was holding spot and not trading as actively. So kind of a silver lining there. If we go to Sui here, that's my only live trade right now. Let's say trading view. Okay, here's Sui. I was entered here a little while ago for a 15-minute higher low, just on this continuation. If it goes clean, we go out to test resistance on Bitcoin again. Just looking for a, oh, there's a bug in my face. A simple, got the structure flip. We're getting the retest. Maybe just up to here. Maybe it just ends up being a scalp when I take half off here. So that's what you see live down here. I don't know why it's not showing the actual amount of the trade. I think we have some things here that are not hidden. So let me yeah, let's get rid of some things. Margin ratios, fine. Liquidation, we don't get liquidated, so that's all right. We'll get that out of there. And now we should see the price here. Let's see. Yeah, so now you see we're up $12 in that trade. Let's see, and on the 5-minute, we're looking for something like that, but we still need a 5-minute trend change here. So we're 5-minute downtrend for the 15-minute higher low, and I'm trying to make sure when I enter on these nitty gritty minute, 5-minute time frames that we're in alignment with something like the 15-minute here. Hourly, we're keeping track of our volume, keeping track of our higher time frame. Like higher time frame, we're looking for a scalp there, but then we have some thicker resistance here. So looking at this objectively, we have 4-hour divs. I mean, we broke support. We did break support, and we are. This falling wedge did not work out, but this was right here was really retested yesterday nicely, cleanly. So that's why I'm keeping it here, and I think it's something that we should keep up and look at. But higher time frame, a lot of things have kind of changed since I talked about this coin. I'm trading it right now because it's fee free still, but I was looking for a like 2-week equilibrium here, and right now we're testing the bottom if we ignore this wick. But if we don't ignore this wick, then we broke it, and the setup's no longer valid. Monthly too, monthly, tight, and we're kind of broke it here. So if in 14 days we close underneath here, this setup is definitely not as valid, or it's super valid, and we had this spring up towards $10 or so, which is really what I'm trying to get a piece of for this swing trade on Sui. But look at this thing is crushed lower time frame in this 4-hour. But we are kind of at support. We're at this wick support. I'm sure if we let's take a look at some. Let's pull this range because we're looking at this tightening range and see if we have anything there. Okay, so all the volume was traded up in this upper range. So we're kind of at discount in this big range, or we have broke down and we see a bounce up for bearish retest and down. So definitely way more cautious than I was on this name than I was up here. I was looking for kind of this. It was kind of a falling wedge, weekly falling wedge-ish deal because we were breaking lows without follow through. I wanted to get an entry here at the value area low for a EQ bull break, monthly bull flag, and that did not happen. So I'm more cautious, especially since volume's drying up. We're at 15% surf score. It's honestly not looking the best. So I'll like be really cautious with the trades on this one. Like if I actually go to my trade here, let me show you. You can see I already have half of the entry at break even, and I know there's going to be multiple attempts. These might end up being scalps, but hopefully one of them turns into more of a swing trade. But I'm just not risking a lot in these scenarios. So 50% there, stop under there, and you're risking a very small amount to see if anything sticks. Let me go back to. I won't let me trade now. Do you want to save the theme? No. Bruh. Okay. Cool. All right, we are back to this. Hold on one sec. The doggy wants to go out. Yeah, that's my quick update on crypto that I'm watching. Also have gold here. Let's take a look at So Dust is the miners 2x bearish ETF that I was looking for an entry this morning on. Didn't pull the trigger. Said I'll just get in on a 15-minute higher low. And guess what? She just I was looking to get in. It was right here at the open, and I said I want to get in around here for a move up, and we just stair stepped the hourly all day. So it's no big deal really. Gold now is hitting hourly back burner. I did take a silver position right here long. Mostly just got stopped out in half that silly position. So now we're at $0. No big deal. Like I said, it's a 15-minute higher low. I'm wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if we chop around in that area for a little while. Ethereum also not looking the best. You have, I was looking today at just simple as you want it, OBV support. And we have broken that, so looking for a retest there. But not looking great, kind of looking like up here, to be honest. So maybe see prolonged and we go into next summer before we get the next move up and we get a year of consolidation and horrible trading. It's all possible. So, you know, that's what's going on with Ethereum. I watch QQQ every day and it's kind of topping too, you know. But ETH BTC is looking for that weekly higher low. So this could just be because everything's at those crossroads, you know, at supports. If it holds, it's going to be a really nice hold. And if not, it's really going to muddy the waters up. So this next month should really give more clarity on what we're going to be trading for the next year. Now, silver is doing nice. I only bought a half position here going into the close on Friday. But we got the 15-minute and 5-minute uptrend now. So now we look at hourly higher low and where that may be, maybe somewhere around here like 47-ish on the silver ETF. If we look at the 15-minute, we're still going to battle a 15-minute EMA support, EMA resistance, so I'm going to set an alarm there. Gold, like I said, hit that hourly back burner, and look at these hourly back burners and beauties. Boom, 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 every time. Above a rising 200 on the hourly. But here, look at this. We have potential highest daily volume of the year. Yeah, of almost 2 years. So that is very notable. If we close bearish engulfing, I would be looking to short anywhere up here for a volume climax top, which is what we're seeing. And that could mean that we see some strength come back into Bitcoin. If silver gets a little rotation, Bitcoin takes a spotlight and away from gold for a little bit, and QQQ goes sideways for a few weeks, we could see all these supports hold. So that's what I'm hoping for, but gonna play it level by level and see where we end up. I'm gonna go back to our SUI chart since we got stopped out on half that trade there. So I'm back on the SUI. Our break even. Hello. Okay, so we're getting 5-minute trend change here for the first time since this downtrend is what I wanted to see. We just got wicked out here in half the position, which is fine because our full stop was down here. So we're just going to stay with half the position here. Even though we wanted a full position, we can ride with half this now. It's not really worth adding because it's not an optimal setup. We're just looking to get something out of it, to get some profit today into here, and potentially, I mean, ideally, in a perfect world, you'd want to reclaim here and some continuation there. And what you're looking for, a higher time frame, is this to still be an EQ and close up here. So you have high, low, high, low, high, low, somewhere around here, and continuation. That's like the cleanest possible scenario, but it's not as likely with this coming down so low and this huge liquidation wick. I mean, look at some of these fills. This is on Mexi, but even on Binance, which had some issues with their liquidation engine and kind of exposed some not so great stuff over there. Binance still had the 56-cent wick. So crazy. These oracles are picking it up on these lower less liquid exchanges. And this does sometimes mark the only reason I have somewhat hope is like sometimes these big events, the best moves come after everyone's been liquidated, they say, and that could be the way. You know, look at the weekly. Had the big move up, and we just been going sideways and showing sideways for the full year on this. You know, we are just crossing over here on the weekly because that big move down did get that to us. So we're gonna time will tell if that's a fake out or not. I know we're also looking at some Ichimoku showing this is just sideways. So waiting for that to flip, we're just waiting and getting chopped up in the meantime, trying to scalp these moves. So just remember to take profit, but not take all the profit, and leave enough money that you can still benefit if things continue to go up. Not make it so hard on yourself. I got a great short on this blessed name. That was a stop from a scalp earlier, but shorted 22 cents the other day. Where did our... Come on, that's our favorite now. 22 cents. I think I closed it at 88, so 60% move down overnight. This name ran like 1400% overnight or something crazy like that. And it was just an easy short. So looking for a daily high or low, but I don't like playing those. It's going to probably go to nothing. I don't even know what it is, but there is a falling wedge-ish behavior on the hourly, I think it is. Yeah, lower lows that can kind of fall through. So we're going to see. We have an alarm set there. Might get a bullish entry there, but we're just going to close that and not worry about it right now. Useless, I know, was strongish in some of the recent things. 15-minute trend. Also looking for a 15-minute high or low here, like the other names. So if I was enter here, I would enter here, tight stop underneath. Or I'd wait for the stop to be hitting that entry and stop down here. It's kind of been working out as well for a move up to around here. So this one, I don't know why I have it open. Zora's been strong, still strong. Hourly EQ. So that's definitely one to watch, especially with the hourly MA 200 here. I'm going to set an alarm on hourly EQ bull break. We got that set. Look at that. We got stopped out, and then we'd be up $22 right now, but it's all good. So we're going to set that for hourly EQ bull break, and we're going to set that for hourly EQ bear break. Just trying to really keep in mind the bigger picture. So these dailies have been showing these big wicks, so have to be careful. But we pay this falling wedge here, bleed, daily oversold. Then we flipped daily high or low was nice for a big, I think it was over 100% move. Yeah, over 100% move. So nice correlation, nice relationship between the hourly and the 12-hour. 12 hours is nice too. We could be on the bull flag here with the highs not too far away. So I am interested in this name, especially more since like a few weeks ago. This name, Aster, AVNT, STBL, I think there were a few of them that all kind of were moving at the same time. And this is the only one that really is still holding up. Those all are in the gutter. So this is on top of my list too. Let's see what if there's anything else kicking off today in the altcoin world. ZEC has just been crazy strong. Now looking for a daily. All right, look at this move. Nice big move. Pump. Wow. Oh, I didn't realize that I gave away so much after that nice entry. Should have shorted up there. TRX still cooking on the weekly. Yeah, I think 2 week was the guide for TRX. Yeah, 2 weeks the guide for TRX. And it's still just chugging along. Crazy. We can probably get a really clean trend line in it too. Somewhat. I'm not doing that. But names like this, like USDUC, soon, these are all just like my top short candidates, and I really want to just grab pieces of them here and there and just in 6 months see what they cash out to be, because I think these shorts could really pay off on some of these shit coins, you know. This name too ran like crazy, and then you had the triple top, and I bet if I go in, yeah, so you had the triple top, you had a clear as day divergence here. I mean, look at this, way less strength in this third move up after a 1200% move. Money coming out. We had the cross. I think this should have been a top short candidate that I missed. Because look at it. I mean, 80% right there. IP, I mean, not the best look for all these altcoins here. It broke weekly support. We were looking at that breaking weekly support here. We flipped bearish. BNB still strong, new all-time highs. Lead bull. ENA is a disaster. I don't want to trade that. Zora we just talked about. If I look at Farcoin, up $1.60, something like that, and then just giving it all back. XPL was another on the list that we were looking at. That I was saying Zora held. Zora did this, confirm the weekly downtrend into daily oversold, but then it's back up here, where this one's back at the range low, not the range lows, the listing lows. So way different look. Just look how many of these setups were like things we looked at through the summer. You got a daily falling wedge, no follow through into Chopzilla. It's just like get out of crypto, and that's why I haven't been trading as much too. Just been waiting for things to be more clear. Doge, big disappointment too. It's like if you bought Doge last year, I mean you're at like a 2.5x, I guess, but it's not the clearest chart. Look at this, lots of volatility. I think you'd have to look at Doge, BTC, to see if there's any hidden sauce. Yeah, let's look. I mean, I don't hate it actually. On the character of Doge, you get them big. You get 1, 2, 3 drives down, a run of the lows, and then move up. And we kind of have that right now. So I am going to set an alarm here above the monthly high, and we'll see if that comes back into play once we get there. I didn't mean to go through all these, but I'll do it quick. I only have like 5 more minutes. IMX is wrecked. AVAX, not too bad. Monthly downtrend. Looking for a 6-month higher low somewhere along the line, but nothing. Kind of reminds me of Sol a little bit. Bcash. We got the break out of this forever trend line, 2017 trend line. 2024 highs were ran, SFP'd, and now we're back inside. So did not get this, but that's the trigger I was looking for all along. And this is the one I said with Zora. Look, back at the lows. So these things are cooked. If I was just holding spot, just would lost so much money. I mean, this one I tried to buy a weekly high or low. I held spot up to here, I had the weekly EQ, bought here, stop out here, haven't looked at it since, and look at this liquidation wick. Went to like 0 basically 0. So it's either these big wicks are warning signs, and that wick is going to be a high in a year, and we wish we had the wick lows, or it's a spring and just an anomaly in liquidation engines and Binance and manipulation, and we got a new highs. So like I said, at a big crossroads, especially when I was just looking at total, when looking at the ratio charts, looking at all that stuff we were looking at. Yeah, there's like shitcoins, the only thing that are green today. Oh geez, that Red Bull coin or some kind of sporting coin. But look, just grinding up the weekly. Really cool. I tried to short here and stop that break even, because this time was different for the first time in 5 years. Oh man, look at these. This is the only coin I have spot because I had airdropped it, and it's just daily downtrend. Weekly is looking for a lower high eventually. I'm glad I sold a bunch of it, but not very good with Rune shit in the bed. Like these 2021 NFT projects, look how wrecked they are. They're beyond. I mean, it's been down only. And you're talking from like $6 to less than a penny right now. That is some generational short right there. Look at that. Wow. I'm not going to go through all this. This is the altcoin abyss. The only thing we went through were the stronger names, which I have another list here too. From short-term relative strength, Dash is some short-term relative strength, SNX, ZEC, BNB useless, Tau, believe it or not, with that liquidation. Look at that. So V-shaped, looking for a daily higher low. See if we got hourly oversold. I guess for a daily, you want 4-hour oversold. Let's see. Yeah, and right now, kind of an EQ. Long-term healthy. Yeah, I was looking for a weekly higher low. XMR. TRX we talked about. Not looking at that name. Bcash, Sol. Cake has been riding the BNB strength. Let's look at this now on Binance. Ooh, SLV. We should take a little profit on the SLV position. Let's take a look at it. Just make sure. Nice. We're up. How much percent in that? 1.5%. So I'm going to take... Actually, I'm just going to stop to even 46.30 is my stop. So cool. All right. So that's it for the update. It looks like that 15-minute higher low entry that we were looking for, although we got whipped out half the position, is playing out right here. We got whipped out half here. So we'll see if we can get towards these highs again. Now we're on Binance. Hold on one sec. Get out of this. There we go. So we'll take some profit off once we get this red line, yellow line, red line, and white line, and then move stop to break even. See if anything can stick. We're up a whole whopping 13 bucks in this position. But you can't think about that because this account's so small. You gotta think of that as 1,300 bucks, 13,000 bucks, and eventually $130,000. But liquidity becomes an issue there, and you gotta really be careful tax-wise. Anyway, peace. Have a good weekend.